You ever get that feeling when someone waltzes into your house, acts like they own the place, and somehow makes you feel like the guest? Yeah, that's my life right now, courtesy of Jenna, my wife's so-called bestie, who's turned our home into her personal stage. I'm Mark, 35, a landscape architect in Denver. Not exactly Brad Pitt, but I've got a knack for making Sarah laugh and keeping our backyard plants alive through a Colorado winter. Our little house is my sanctuary, cozy with a patio where I sip Coors Light on weekends, watch the Rockies lose, and pretend I'm one with nature. Life was good until Jenna showed up. It all started 6 weeks ago. Sarah, my wife, she's a marketing whiz, always juggling campaigns and deadlines, got a call from Jenna, her college BFF. Apparently, Jenna's apartment was under renovation, and she needed a place to crash. Just 6 weeks, Mark, Sarah said, those big hazel eyes of hers all hopeful. She's in a bind, and she's fun. You'll love her. Fun? Sure, if your idea of fun is a tornado in yoga pants. I shrugged, cracked a beer, and said, Fine, babe, 6 weeks. I can handle anything for 6 weeks. Famous last words, right? Jenna rolled in with 3 suitcases, a yoga mat, and a vibe that screamed, I'm the main character. Within days, she was rearranging our kitchen like she was on some HGTV show. I came home from a long day sketching park layouts to find our spice rack replaced with a dozen fancy glass jars. Paprika, saffron, freaking star anise. Our kitchen looked like a spice bazaar. It's aesthetic, Jenna chirped, flipping her hair. Aesthetic? I just wanted my garlic powder. I dug through the chaos for it, muttering, What's next? A crystal chandelier in the bathroom? Then there was my chair. You know the one. Worn leather, perfect for sinking into with a beer and a Broncos game. I found it shoved into a corner of the living room, replaced by a wicker thing that looked like it belonged in a yoga studio. It's better feng shui, Jenna said, sipping some green sludge she called a smoothie. Feng shui? In my house? I laughed it off to Sarah later, sprawled on our bed. Babe, do I need to sign a lease with Jenna? 'Cause she's clearly the landlord now. Sarah giggled, but her eyes were on her phone, probably texting Jenna. I let it slide. Keep the peace, Mark. That's my motto. But Jenna? She didn't just rearrange furniture, she inserted herself into everything. I tried to talk to Sarah about my latest project, a community park with native plants and a killer walking trail. It's the kind of thing that gets me out of bed, you know? I was halfway through explaining my ideas when Jenna cut in, lounging on our couch like she was Cleopatra. That sounds impractical, she said, waving a manicured hand. Native plants? People want flashier stuff, Mark. You should add, like, a neon fountain. A neon fountain? In a park meant to feel like the Rockies? I forced a grin, teeth gritted. Yeah, I'll pitch that to the city, right after I propose a roller coaster. The worst part? Sarah nodded along. Jenna's got a point, hun. Maybe think bigger. Bigger? I spent 10 years studying ecology to make sustainable designs, and now I'm getting schooled by a woman who thinks feng shui is a personality trait. I swallowed my pride, took a sip of coffee, and changed the subject. Inside, though, I was fuming. I thought, maybe I need to start meditating so I don't lose it with this woman. It wasn't just the big stuff. Jenna had this knack for small, annoying chaos. One morning, I'm up at 7 a.m., ready to tackle some blueprints on my laptop. Suddenly, her pop music blasts through the house, some auto-tune nightmare that made my ears bleed. I stumbled out of bed, nearly spilling my coffee on my keyboard. Jenna, it's 7 in the morning, I called, trying to sound chill. She poked her head out of the guest room, all smiles. Oh, sorry, Mark. Just getting my energy up. Energy? I was about to lose mine. I slumped at the kitchen table, staring at my laptop, thinking, this is my life now. Death by pop music. I tried to talk to Sarah about it, in that careful way you do when you don't want to start a fight. We were washing dishes, me scrubbing, her drying, when I said, Babe, Jenna's a lot. Maybe we set some ground rules, Sarah sighed, tossing her blonde hair back. She's just being Jenna, Mark. She's going through a rough patch. Can you be patient? Patient. I'm a saint for not duct taping Jenna's yoga mat to the ceiling. But Sarah's voice had that edge, the one that says, drop it. So I did. I'm not big on conflict. Never have been. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that Jenna was digging in like a tick you can't flick off. 6 weeks, she said, but her suitcases were unpacked, her smoothies were in my fridge, and her opinions were in my marriage. I'd catch her giving me these looks, half smirks like she knew something I didn't. One night, I was out back, pruning my junipers under the patio lights, a Coors Light sweating in my hand. The stars were out, Denver's skyline glowing in the distance. I thought, this is my home, my life. Why do I feel like I'm losing it? I'm not a paranoid guy. I trust Sarah. We've been married 5 years, and she's my rock. Funny, smart, the kind of woman who can charm a client and still binge The Office with me. But Jenna, she's not just a house guest. She's a wedge, splitting us apart bit by bit. I keep telling myself it's temporary. 6 weeks, right? But deep down, I know Jenna's not going anywhere. And that's when I start wondering, what's her end game? 6 weeks. That's what Jenna promised. But here we are, week 7, and her suitcases are still camped out in our guest room like they're staking a claim. I'm Mark, the guy who thought he had a happy little life in Denver with his wife Sarah, a cold Coors Light, in a backyard full of plants. Now, I'm starting to feel like a stranger in my own house, thanks to Jenna, the human equivalent of a wrecking ball in Lululemon leggings. Tui may ever have someone just take over your life. That's Jenna. And the worst part? Sarah's starting to buy into her crap. It started small, but Jenna's got this way of worming into everything. One night, I'm trying to talk to Sarah about my day. Boring stuff, like how I spent hours tweaking a park design to fit the city's budget. Sarah's usually all ears, asking questions, making me feel like my work matters. But Jenna's sprawled on our couch, scrolling her phone, and she pipes up, Sarah, you deserve someone who's like romantic. Mark's always buried in his plants. When's the last time he swept you off your feet? Swept her off her feet. I'm a landscape architect, not friggin' Romeo. I laughed it off, but Sarah got this look, quiet, distant, like she was actually thinking about it. I thought, what the hell, Jenna? You trying to rewrite my marriage? Things got worse. I planned a date night to shake things up. You know, remind Sarah we're still us. I booked a table at this Italian place we love. Dim lights, killer tiramisu, the works. I even lit candles at home, put on some jazz, and wore the shirt Sarah says makes me look less like a lumberjack. Everything's perfect, right? Until Jenna accidentally knocks a full mug of coffee onto Sarah's dress. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, she squeals, grabbing paper towels. Sarah's laughing, saying it's fine, but the mood's shot. Next thing I know, Jenna's steering the night into a trip down memory lane. College stories, inside jokes, crap I wasn't part of. I'm sitting there, sipping wine, thinking, maybe I should just go to bed and let these two have their reunion. Sarah's pulling away, and it's killing me. She used to ask about my projects, my day, even my dumb rants about the Broncos. Now, she's glued to Jenna, giggling over texts or whispering in the kitchen. I try bringing it up one morning, catching her before she heads to work. Babe, you've been distant, I say, stirring my coffee, trying not to sound like a whiner. Sarah frowns, tucking her blonde hair behind her ear. Jenna's just looking out for me, Mark. She's my best friend. You're overthinking it. Overthinking it? I'm not paranoid. But when your wife's BFF is acting like she's the third wheel in your marriage, you start to wonder. I bite my tongue, nod, and let it go. Keep the peace, Mark. Always keep the peace. But Jenna's not just content with messing with my head. She's got to leave her mark everywhere. One day, I notice my favorite mug, this chipped blue thing I've had since college, is gone. In its place, a shiny new one with "Best Friend Forever" scrawled on it. A gift from Jenna to Sarah. I ask Sarah about my mug, and she shrugs. Jenna said it broke. Accidents happen. Accidents? That mug survived 3 moves and a drunken Super Bowl party. I grin, but inside, I'm thinking, I need a mug that says "official husband" just to remind everyone I exist. I'm half joking, half ready to buy one on Amazon right then. The kicker came at a barbecue with friends. Emily, this old buddy of ours who's always got a sharp eye, was there, sipping a beer and watching Jenna like a hawk. Jenna's doing her usual thing, cutting into conversations, steering the spotlight to herself. At one point, I'm telling a story about a client who wanted a literal maze in their backyard, and Jenna jumps in. "That's cute, Mark, but nobody cares about bushes. Sarah, tell them about our Vegas trip." Emily shoots Jenna this look. You know, the kind that could curdle milk, but doesn't say a word. Later, I catch Emily's eye, and she gives me a tiny nod, like, I see it too. It's the first time I think, maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe Jenna's trouble. I'm trying to hold it together, but it's like Jenna's rewriting the rules of my life. I'm out back one evening, pruning my junipers under the patio lights, the Denver skyline twinkling in the distance. Usually this is my zen, clippers in hand, a cold beer, just me and my plants. But even here, I can hear Jenna's laugh from inside, loud and fake, like she's auditioning for a sitcom. I take a swig of Coors Light, staring at the stars, and think, I'm starting to wonder if I should buy Jenna a one-way ticket. Out of here. It's a joke. Mostly. But deep down, I'm pissed. This is my home, my wife, my life. And Jenna's turning it into her personal playground. I'm not a confrontational guy. Never have been. But I'm starting to feel like a tenant in my own marriage. Sarah's slipping away, and Jenna's got her hooks in deep. I keep telling myself to stay cool, ride it out. But then I think about that mug. My mug, broken, gone. And it hits me. Jenna's not just breaking stuff, she's breaking us. And I'm not sure how much longer I can keep pretending it's all going to be okay. You ever wake up one day and realize your life's been turned into a bad movie? And you're the guy everyone's rooting against? That's me, Mark, 35, former king of my cozy Denver home, now exiled thanks to Jenna, the Oscar-worthy villain in yoga pants. I used to think I had it all. A wife I adored, a job designing parks, a backyard where I could sip Coors Light and pretend the Broncos might win a game. Now, I'm crashing in a shoebox apartment, staring at a parking lot, wondering how the hell I went from landscape architect to the most misunderstood guy in Colorado. All because Jenna decided to play puppet master with my marriage. It started at a networking event, a fancy mixer for Denver's creative types. The kind where you drink overpriced wine and pretend you care about someone's innovative co-working space. I was there to pitch my park project, shaking hands, being my charming plant nerd self. I chatted with a colleague, Lisa, about native grasses. Thrilling stuff, right? Apparently, Jenna, who tagged along with Sarah, saw sparks, not the romantic kind, but the kind she could twist into a grenade. A week later, at a barbecue, she pulls Sarah aside, all teary-eyed, and spins this tale about me getting too cozy with Lisa. I saw the way he looked at her, Sarah. Those lingering glances. Lingering glances? I was talking about drought-resistant shrubs. But Jenna's got a gift for fiction, and Sarah, stressed from work and already under Jenna's spell, bought it. I come home one night, ready to crash with a beer, and Sarah's waiting in the kitchen, arms crossed, eyes red. "We need to talk," she says, voice like ice. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I forgot to take out the trash. Nope. She lays into me about Lisa, about what Jenna saw. I'm blindsided. "Babe, it was a work chat. You know me," I say, hands up like I'm dodging bullets. But Sarah's not hearing it. "Jenna saw it, Mark. Don't lie to me," she yells, her voice cracking. I try to explain, but it's like talking to a wall. She drops the bomb. I need space. Move out for a few weeks. Move out? From my house? I stand there, mouth open, thinking, Jenna's not just a house guest. She's a damn script writer, and I'm the bad guy in her blockbuster. A few weeks turn into a nightmare. Sarah's not just taking space. She's done. One morning, I'm checking emails, half asleep with a cup of gas station coffee, and there it is. A divorce filing, attached in a cold, one-line message. I can't do this anymore, she writes. My stomach drops. Divorce? Over a rumor? I call her, text her, but she's a ghost. I try reaching out to mutual friends, hoping someone was at that mixer, saw me talking shop with Lisa. Nobody remembers. The rumors spread, though. Friends I've known for years start dodging my calls, giving me side-eye at the grocery store. I'm radioactive, all because Jenna's got a knack for storytelling and Sarah's too deep in her web to see straight. I end up in this crap apartment, a one-bedroom with peeling paint and a window facing a dumpster-filled parking lot. My life's now a sad country song. Me, a six-pack of Coors Light, and a tiny TV blaring Broncos games I can't even enjoy. I sit on a thrift store couch, staring at the ceiling, thinking, from designing parks to designing my own misery. Real career upgrade, Mark. Work's suffering too. I'm missing deadlines, zoning out in meetings. My boss pulls me aside, asks if I'm okay. I force a grin, say, just navigating a plot twist. But inside, I'm crumbling. Sarah was my rock. Losing her feels like losing half of me. One night, I'm out back of my new place. Well, back is a stretch, just a concrete slab by the dumpsters. I crack a beer, the Denver skyline a faint glow past the haze of city lights. I think about calling Sarah, begging her to listen. But what's the point? She chose Jenna's story over me. I take a swig, the cold fizz burning my throat, and mutter, forgetting your wife's harder than forgetting a Broncos loss. And that's saying something. I laugh. But it's hollow. I'm not just mad at Jenna or Sarah. I'm mad at myself for letting it get this far. For keeping the peace instead of fighting back. I try piecing it together, replaying every moment. Jenna's smirk when she fixed my kitchen, her jabs about me not being romantic enough. It's like she's been laying traps, and I walked right into them. I scroll through old texts from Sarah, looking for clues, but it's just a timeline of us fading. Her replies getting shorter, her warmth gone. I toss my phone on the couch, thinking Jenna didn't just break my mug. She broke my life. And the worst part? I don't know how to fix it. All I've got is a flickering hope that the truth's got to come out, right? But right now, I'm alone, drinking cheap beer in a dump, wondering if this is what rock bottom feels like. You ever hit a point where life feels like a bad sitcom and you're just waiting for the laugh track to kick in? That's been my world lately. Mark, 35, stuck in a crummy Denver apartment, my marriage blown to bits by Jenna, the human equivalent of a glitter bomb. I went from designing parks to designing ways to avoid thinking about Sarah, my soon-to-be ex-wife, who bought Jenna's lies hook, line, and sinker. I'm living off Coors Light and takeout, my view a parking lot full of rusty pickups. Rock bottom? Yeah, I'm pretty much there. But then, out of nowhere, a lifeline shows up, and it's got Emily's name on it. I'm slouched on my thrift store couch one night, half watching a Broncos rerun, when my phone buzzes. It's Emily, our old friend who always seemed to see through Jenna's BS. She texts me a screenshot that makes my jaw drop. It's from a group chat, Jenna's group chat, where she's bragging like some evil mastermind. I spiced up that mixer story to help Sarah ditch Mark. She wrote, Sarah's so gullible, it's why she's my bestie. There's more. Screenshots of Jenna laughing about how easy it was to steer Sarah, how I was in the way. I read it twice, my hands shaking. Jenna didn't just lie. She orchestrated this whole disaster. I'm pissed, but also relieved. The truth's finally out. I forward the screenshots to my lawyer, a guy named Dave, who's more pit bull than human. He's thrilled, says this is gold for my case. But I don't want to just win in court. I need Sarah to see it. So I text her, asking to meet at the Brew, this cozy coffee shop we used to love. Neutral ground? No, Jenna. She agrees. And the next day, I'm there, sitting at a corner table, the air thick with the smell of toasted bread and fresh espresso. My heart's pounding, but I'm not here to beg. I'm done playing nice. Sarah walks in, looking like she hasn't slept in weeks. Blonde hair pulled back, eyes puffy. She sits, clutching her coffee mug like it's a shield. "What do you want, Mark?" she asks, voice flat. I don't say a word, just slide my phone across the table. The screenshot's open. She reads, her face going pale. Her hands tremble as she scrolls through Jenna's messages, each one a knife to the life we had. "Oh my God," she whispers, tears spilling down her cheeks. She looks up, eyes wide. "Mark, I'm so sorry. I was an idiot. Please give me another chance." I lean back, sipping my coffee, letting her words hang. Part of me wants to hug her, tell her it's okay. But another part, the part that's been sleeping on a lumpy mattress, dodging dirty looks from friends, knows it's not that simple. "Sarah," I say, slow and steady. "I don't hate you. But you believed Jenna over me. You threw me out, filed for divorce, all based on a lie. I can't live with someone who doesn't trust me." Her sobs get louder, drawing stares from the barista. But I keep going. "I loved you. Still do, maybe. But love doesn't mean letting someone walk all over my self-respect. She's a mess. Begging, promising to fix it, but I'm done. I stand, toss a few bucks on the table for the coffee, and walk out. The air outside is crisp, the Denver skyline sharp against a gray sky. I feel free. Not happy, not yet, but like I've taken my life back. I head home, to my dumpy apartment. Yeah, but it's mine. I crack a Coors Light, sit on my concrete slab of a patio, and think, if I'm going to get my heart broken, at least it's at a place with killer toast. That night, I lie awake, replaying it all. I could have taken Sarah back. Part of me wanted to. 5 years of marriage don't vanish overnight. But I keep seeing those screenshots, Jenna's smug words, and Sarah's face when she believed I'd betrayed her. Trust is like my old mug. Once it's broken, no amount of glue makes it the same. I'm not some superhero, but I'm learning when to walk away. And damn, it feels badass in a quiet way. Emily calls the next day, checking in. I tell her about the meeting, and she laughs when I mention the toast. "You're going to be fine, Mark," she says. "Jenna's the one who's screwed now." She's right. Those screenshots are making the rounds, and Jenna's little empire is cracking. I don't care much. Karma's got her number. I'm focused on me, on getting my head straight. Work's still a mess, but I'm sketching again. Ideas for that park project flowing like they used to. I even start jogging, swapping late-night beers for early morning runs through Denver's streets, the mountains looming in the distance. I'm not naive. This isn't a fairy tale where I bounce back overnight. Some nights, I still see Sarah's smile in my head, hear her laugh from the good days. But I'm done letting Jenna, or anyone, define me. I'm Mark, the guy who makes parks, drinks cheap beer, and knows his worth. And for the first time in months, I'm starting to believe I'll be okay. You ever stand somewhere you built, look around and think, damn, I did that? That's me right now, Mark, 35, 6 months after my life got turned upside down by Jenna, the chaos agent who tried to rewrite my story. I'm not going to lie, getting here wasn't pretty. I went from a cozy Denver home with Sarah, my wife of 5 years, to a dumpy apartment with a view of a dumpster. My marriage? Done, thanks to Jenna's lies and Sarah's blind trust in her. But now, I'm standing in a park I designed, coffee in hand, the Rockies looming in the distance, and I'm starting to feel like me again. Tuhi may know what? Sometimes you don't need revenge. Just a good life and a cold beer. It's been half a year since I walked away from Sarah at that coffee shop, her tears and apologies fading in my rear view. I didn't expect it to feel so final, but it did. Since then, word got around about Jenna's little group chat stunt. Emily, my guardian angel with a knack for receipts, spilled the tea to a few mutual friends. Turns out Jenna's not as untouchable as she thought. Her online boutique, some overpriced yoga gear thing, lost a chunk of customers when the gossip spread. Friends stopped inviting her to brunches and barbecues. I didn't lift a finger, didn't need to. She dug her own grave. I tell Emily over burgers one night, ketchup dripping on my plate. I'm too busy living to care. Emily laughs, then makes me pay for her fries. Typical. Sarah reached out once, a long email full of apologies and regrets. She said she cut Jenna off, that she's working on herself, trying to understand how she got so lost. I read it, sitting on my lumpy couch, a Coors Light sweating on the coffee table. Part of me wanted to write back, to say something, anything, but I didn't. I closed my laptop, cracked my beer, and thought, some bridges stay burned. I'm not heartless, but I'm done being the guy who fixes everyone else's mistakes. Sarah made her choice. I'm making mine. I hear she's doing okay, picking up the pieces. Good for her. I mean that. Work's been my lifeline. That park project, the one Jenna called impractical, while rearranging my spice rack, is done. I'm standing in it now, early morning, the air crisp and smelling of pine. Native grasses sway in the breeze, walking trails snake through wildflowers, and kids are already climbing the natural rock playground I sketched a year ago. I sip my coffee, black and strong, and think, life's not perfect, but this is mine. My boss claps me on the back at the opening ceremony, says the city's thrilled. I grin, say, told you native plants were the move. Inside, I'm glowing. This park, it's proof I'm still me, the guy who builds things, who keeps going no matter what. I'm not saying it's all sunshine. Some nights, I'm back in my apartment, still a dump, but I've got a better couch now, flipping through old photos on my phone. Sarah's smile, our backyard barbecues, the way she'd tease me about my Broncos obsession. It stings. I'll take a swig of beer, stare at the ceiling, and think, yeah, I miss her. But I don't miss the chaos. Jenna's name still makes my jaw clench sometimes. I'm human, not a saint. But then I remember what Emily said. Let her deal with her own mess. And I do. I've got better things to focus on, like my plants, my runs through Denver's streets, the new friends I'm making who don't come with drama. Speaking of Emily, she's been a rock. We grab burgers every couple of weeks, trade dumb stories, and she never lets me off easy. You owe me for saving your ass, she says, stealing a fry. Those screenshots were my superhero moment. I laugh, toss a napkin at her, and say, fine, but you're paying next time. She's the kind of friend who reminds me I'm worth more than Jenna's lies made me feel. I'm opening up again, grabbing beers with coworkers, even went to a trivia night where I crushed the botany questions. Who knew? Knowing the Latin name for sagebrush could win you a free pitcher. I'm not fully healed. Don't know if I ever will be, but I'm moving forward. My apartment's got a few plants now, little pots of juniper and sage on the windowsill, catching the morning light. I jog most mornings, the Denver skyline glowing pink as the sun rises. I'm sketching new projects, dreaming up green spaces that'll outlive me. And yeah, I still drink Coors Light, still yell at the TV when the Broncos fumble. Some things don't change, but I'm different. Stronger. I know my worth now. Know I deserve people who see me for who I am, not some villain in a made-up story. Standing here in my park, coffee gone cold. I look at the kids laughing, the couples walking, the mountains framing it all. I think about Jenna, about Sarah, about the guy I was 6 months ago, drowning in a parking lot view. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm Mark, the dude who builds beauty, who keeps his head up, who's learning to let go. And you know what? That's enough. For now, for always, that's enough.